today we're going to be painting ourselves green because I'm going to be showing you guys how to turn yourself into a character from one of my recent favorite movies. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do makeup for the character Disgust from the Pixar movie Inside Out. So let's get started on that. So of course you're going to want to start out with a clean and moisturized face as you would just putting on your regular everyday makeup. And to get that perfect green color, I'm going to be using a mixture of these green makeups. I just picked this palette up at my local pop-up Halloween store, and I prefer to use these creamier makeups rather than the makeups in the tubes because the ones in the tubes tend to dry on your skin and you'll end up with cracks and anywhere you have crease lines, and you don't want that. So you want to stick with this creamier palette, and it's going to act more similar to your everyday concealer. Therefore, it's going to hold up the same as any other base foundation or anything like that. To mix up my colors, I'm just going to use a spatula, and I'm going to mix a combination of this green and yellow, and then I'm going to add some white to increase the opacity so it covers really well. So I'm just going to mix those up until I get that perfect shade of green for her face, and then I'm just going to apply it to my skin just using my hands. Using your hands keeps the product nice and warm, and I find it's much easier to blend. So I'm going to apply it all over my face, everywhere except for my eyelids and my cheeks. So I'm just going to leave those makeup free for the moment. And you want to make sure to rub this right into your hairline so you don't have a line around your face. You really want to blend it in so that it looks like you're just a natural green color. Alright, so there we go, we're all green. We're looking pretty cute here. So as you can see, I do not have my eyelids or my cheeks covered, and that's because we want those areas to be slightly lighter so that when we put our cheek color on, it's going to show up much more pink and not muddy because of the green underneath it. So I mixed up some white with a very small touch of green so that it's still green and not just stark white. So I'm just going to apply that to my cheeks and blend it out, and as well to my eyelids, and do the same thing. We want a seamless blend. Once you're done putting on your green makeup, of course you're going to need to go wash your hands. I just need to set this green, and I'm going to be using my Sephora Color Anthology palette because I have a lot of different color eyeshadows in it, so you can use anything you want, but you're going to be needing a few greens. So to set this color, I'm going to be using this sort of lime green that's similar to the color on my face, and a nice fluffy powder brush. So I'm just going to load that brush up, and I'm going to pat some of this powder makeup all over my face. Again, I'm going to try to stay away from my eyelids and my cheeks too much. I'm going to use a lighter color in those areas. And I just want to mention that if you head over to my blog, I will have all of the eyeshadow colors that I use in this tutorial right there for you guys. So make sure to check that out. And again, I'll be leaving that link in the description. Now, because this makeup is so much more creamy than just an everyday foundation, your brush might start to get a little bit gummed up with makeup, so you're just going to wipe it off on the back of your hand or paper towel to try to get some of that makeup off, and then re-dip your brush. Now, this green makeup is set fairly well, but I wanted to have a little bit more of an everyday finish to my makeup and to be set as well as an everyday makeup. So I'm gonna now go in with my everyday pressed powder just to take any of the leftover tackiness that's in this makeup, because we want the rest of our makeup to apply nice and easy. But you want to make sure to do it as I have with your green eyeshadow first as much as possible, because using too much of this pressed powder can create a muddy look to your green, and you want to keep that as vibrant as you possibly can. After you finish this step, if you do feel like the green has been washed out very slightly, you can go back over it with some of that green eyeshadow once again. And now I'm just going to take a white eyeshadow and my fluffy brush, and I'm going to apply some white to my cheeks and my eyelids, again to brighten that area up, so when I put my blush color on, it's going to accept it much better and it's going to stay pink and not turn into a muddy mess. So the next thing we're going to work on is our eyebrows. This is a bit like everyday makeup, really, if you had green skin. So we're going to go in with an angled eyeshadow eyebrow brush and a dark green color, and we're going to fill in our eyebrows as you would do your everyday eyebrows. But first we're just going to comb them to make them nice and neat. Next, we're going to work on our eyeshadow. So for the eyeshadow, it's just going to be very simple. We're going to use a nice bright pink shadow on the entire lid and just up above the crease so that you can see it with the eyes opened. And I'm going to be using a regular eyeshadow brush for that. Again, all the colors that I'm using you'll be able to find over on my blog. So now that we have our main pink eyeshadow on, what do we need to do next but highlight our brow bone, the same as we would in everyday makeup. And for that, I'm going to be using this lighter green, very shiny looking shadow. So the next thing we need to do to our eyes is line the bottom lash line. Now she's got a deep green on her bottom lashes, so we're going to take a very deep green and we are going to do just that using our angled brush. And I'm just dragging it all the way from the inner corner of my eyes out and just giving it a slightly winged look, just to add a little bit more flirty femininity to these eyes. And then the next thing you want to do to your eyes is just add a little bit of the same color we used on our brow bone. This to highlight the inner corners of our eyes and down the center of our nose. Now moving on to the cheeks. She's got a flush that's similar color to her eyes, and I'm going to be using this blush. This is my everyday blush. It's sort of a pinkish kind of mauve color. It's very light, but when it's on your cheeks, it's very similar to that eye color we have on. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to apply it to the apples of the cheeks where we left them kind of lighter. And then I'm going to sweep it up towards my temples, just very lightly along my cheekbone. You want to concentrate most of that color just on the apples of your cheeks. And then to make sure that everything's blending real nicely, I'm just going to go over with my dry powder brush and just blend out the edges. So now we're going to do a bit more highlighting as we would with our everyday makeup. So we're going to sweep that same color we used on our brow bones along the high points on our cheekbones, and then also just on the bow of our lips. Now, just to add a slight bit more definition to my face, I'm going to take slightly darker than the color on our face, and I'm just going to sweep it along my jawbone and then in the hollows of my cheeks to create a little bit of definition. Her face is quite round, so you really don't want to do a whole lot of this. And then I'm going to go up around my temples and just along my hairline, and this is just going to add a little bit of variation in the color. And again, it's very similar to when you're doing your regular everyday makeup. It's just green, but it's the same principle. After all, really that's what you want to look like, that you've applied makeup to your naturally green face. The next thing I'm going to show you is the eyeliner. Now, don't ask me why I moved on from the eyes to the cheeks and now I'm back to the eyes. That's just what I've done. Don't question it. Let's just go with it. So I'm going to be using Benefit's They're Real Push-Up Eyeliner in black, but you can just really use any black eyeliner that you have. It doesn't matter. This is just the black eyeliner I have, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to apply this along the upper lash line, starting at the inner corner and then getting a little heavier, a little thicker line toward the outer corner. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. So there we go. Now I have the eyeliner all done. And I'm actually pretty impressed with this. I'm thinking I actually feel prettier green. That's kind of sad, but it's kind of true. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to go ahead and apply a few coats of black mascara, and then after I finish applying my mascara, I'm going to apply my eyelashes. And again, head over to my blog to see how I did these lashes. So I'm just going to apply that mascara, and then I'll be right back with the lashes on. Alright, so there we go. I've got my lashes on. Aren't they spectacular? I'm pretty proud of them. I'm pretty impressed with them. As I said, if you want to see how I did these babies, head over to my blog and I'll have all the information there. So now the one last thing we have to do for makeup is the lipstick. I'm using this light pink lipstick right here by Revlon. I don't have one that's quite the right shade, so I'm going to apply this since it is close, and then I'm going to use a nice purple eyeshadow and dab it over the top of my lips to get that perfect shade that she's wearing. And there we go. Now that's her perfect shade of purple. So now all I have left to do is go put my wig on, and I will be right back after I do that. And look at my hair. Isn't it just the perfect shade of green? It better be, because the last time I went to the hair salon, it turned out this disgusting shade of green, and I was like, ew! What were you thinking? Honestly. Blah. Don't even go there. So what did you guys think? If you guys liked it, make sure to click the thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel to keep up with all of my latest videos. And also if you want to come find me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all over social media, I've got all those links in the description of the video as usual. Head over to my blog for extra tips and tricks. And as always, I hope you guys have a super awesome day. I'm sending you lots of love, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!